What a whirlwind this 2026 has felt like so far. And one of the slowest whirlwinds I think I've also experienced. I have a sense that is quickly changing. I feel a lot of things rapidly shifting around me. I hope that's true for you if that's what you're looking for right now. I also hope that you're getting deep rest and nourishment as the swirling, whirling dervishes continue around your life. So I'm Kate, and welcome back if you're returning here, and just welcome if you're new. You can get to know all about me with some of the stuff below or listening. I'm really heartbroken right now because I've been sitting in my mind quite a lot more recently about people who are not feeling like themselves in life. Like life pulls us outward away from ourselves. And I would include myself in this context as well. What was really on my mind was thinking about a lot of people I've really loved, and the feeling as though I want and long for everybody that I love to be able to live the life that they desire, what they're looking to do, and what their soul is asking them to do. Pattern I'm noticing right now is that a lot of people reach this point in their lives where their energy has been so outward facing, like it's like for other people or expectations at work, in your relationships, a lot of unresolved expectations, even from people's childhoods, right? Like that just go unchecked. It's like, this is how things are. That's how things are. Problems that don't actually need solving, like we put our energy out, 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 out. When I used to teach the empath energetics program, my secret mission, not very secret at all, was to help empathic and intuitive folk be able to listen to themselves again amidst the noise by showing a bunch of intuition development trainings and tools, and showing them different archetypes that are living within them so that they might spend more time with themselves and self-reflection in an honest way, which can be really difficult. Like if our truth, our emotional truth is inconvenient for others, it is very easy to avoid it when our energy has been so outward facing, right? Because if you start bringing your truth forward, and it's not like my deep truth, like it's just any truths, any truths that come up for you, and the deeper emotional truth, especially for you sensitive people, for you people who are already quite connected within, as well as serving outside of you or without. The challenge, right, is that we can easily self-abandon when we are outwardly focused so often. And then we forget, oh my gosh, I've not been listening to myself. Those feelings may rush and catch up to us, which I find is not a very pleasant experience. So, and because it's usually the uncomfortable things that we're pushing to the side so as not to inconvenience anyone, because, we care about people. We want their lives to be easier as well as our own lives. I know I myself am really valuing peace this year, and that's requiring me to step away from where I've felt inner conflict about things, which is important, right? Like I value my peace and my mental state. The real deep challenge after that is the desire to return back to places of conflict or wounding, or where I do need to speak up truthfully. Wow, it brings a lot of emotions up. You can see them even, I mean, they're sitting right on the surface for me. But it didn't feel like I should not make videos just because of feeling emotions quite present with me this morning. A lot of what I'm feeling, I had to not be too heavy handed about this because I'm going to make myself cry more. A lot of what I'm feeling is that I believe we all, and you all listening here, deserve to be loved at the depth that you are craving. I really do feel that. And this morning, I was just feeling this huge pain and responsibility for showing more people what love can look like, and creating a safety in love. And it's not as easy as that, I recognize. And it's not as simple as that for a lot of people. But for me, it was feeling very simple and feeling very big, that so many in our world right now are hurting. And so that's why it's easy as a caring person, because regardless, you see that so many other people are hurting more. When you start feeling like you're doing better in life, you start realizing how that actually can hurt others, even just by facing them. You know, when I find more peace and fulfillment, sometimes I find myself losing friends. And it may be because I'm doing something wrong and they're not able to share comfortably with me because they don't want to mess up my own peace. You see what I mean? Like, it can be really challenging on any side of it. So it's no judgment if you're a friend or used to be a friend of mine, or if you're a loved one or used to be in my life as a loved one. I really have been feeling today like, oh, I love every single person I've ever met. And loving every single person you've ever met and wanting the best for them, it still doesn't mean that any choices I've made in self-advocacy are wrong. Even knowing that it hurts a lot of people. It's really challenging. It's really challenging to live the life that you see for yourself, and to know that like I fully know that there are people who don't like or are uncomfortable with or don't understand and therefore don't approve of what it is I'm doing with my life. I actually wrote a whole post, which is really funny. I wrote a whole post. It was a part 1 and a part 2. In the part 1, I shared a little more vulnerably. Then I go to post the part 2 and I realized the part 1 struggled to post and I don't know where it went. And I think what happened is that I erased it in the process. So I only shared part 2 and it's a lot more cleaned up. The first half was opening up a little more. Part of that, so I'll say it to you now because it is lost in the ethers. Like, I can't find it. So silly. And it was a good photo too. So I have to repost the photo, something that different. And anyways, what I was sharing in that is that even though I can look at what I'm doing right now as a dream life for myself, it's only myself who knows the distance between myself and the next phase of that vision or that dream. And I do live very unconventionally. I don't do a typical job. I don't have a house. I don't have kids. So a lot of people will look at my time as endless, infinite, and free and all my own, right? And it is difficult to actually keep standing up for something that feels challenging for whatever reason, or it is challenging to live the way I am and then stay consistent with sharing, because I will forget that people even care about what I'm saying on the internet. Thank you for those who comment, because it does help me when I come back here. Once I'm in the rhythm of it again, honestly, I do really like it. And I'm excited for the next few months because I feel like I'm ready to be living more loud and clear than I have been. Anyways, these are very difficult to make only 8 to 10 minutes. I don't think I'll do that very well. I want to encourage each of you who has resonated in some part to what I'm saying, hopefully not every part, because then you're having a day too. But hopefully, if you've resonated in some part to what I'm saying, you feel a little less alone in the world. And that is my hope for being myself and sharing what's on my heart at the moment. I also really feel like a lot of us are quite overwhelmed in the world right now. I'm just noticing a lot of people who are sort of feeling like they're in the mundane or in the day-to-day. And I want to remind you that you coming back to your full self doesn't mean you are being selfish or that you need to cut everyone off. It also is going to require you noticing where your attention is going. And that's like a really ruthless thing to have to do with yourself, is to become very clear about what you're putting your focus and attention on, where you're putting your energy, and to be kind to yourself so as to allow yourself a more positive place to make a change. Because when you go and do that and you beat yourself up, you're doing exactly what you hate, which is like keeping yourself playing it small and staying stuck and not feeling like yourself. And I do this often, by the way. Like, I think it's very dysregulating to live the way that I live. And I've also just had a really unfortunate time with meeting very intense love partners and feeling very intensely towards, like, I don't know what it is about me, but there's something that is a little more passionate and intense when it comes to connections, that really deeply affects my heart. And that will also really, really like distract from the energy and focus that I have on helping the world and being myself. Which is silly because like the right person in your life is like someone who you feel more yourself around. Like that's always what I'm looking for, is that when you feel like yourself because they're around. Usually it's because I'm not around them that I get stressed out or uncomfortable, right? Which is my own choice. Here I am living in the world, wherever I am. Such a tough question to answer, people, by the way. Side note, people ask me, where do you live? It should not be that difficult of a question. Yeah. Okay. So when you notice that something has been taking up a disproportionate amount of mental space, and you then generally you're like, okay, like once this is done, then I will blank, right? Like when this person clarifies their feelings or makes that decision, then I will be able to make my decisions. When I know how this thing works out, then I will get to feel happy. When this thing gets confirmed, I will then relax, right? And once I know what happens next, then I'm going to know what I want, right? Okay. But sometimes you actually just need to slow down and say, what is true for me right now, right? Name some feelings. I've been thinking about this in my own life. I needed to do a halt moment for myself in my own life because I've been really down for quite a while. And some of it has been really useful and some of it has just been ouchy. And I think it's led me to a lot of really like really ideal shifts in mindset, in value, in the work. I actually just released that I'm doing these remembering intensives, these one-to-one remembering retreats. I will share more about that in deeper videos. Hopefully not me doing more crying unless it's well placed. But these one-to-one retreats are like a dream that has been on my heart for a long time. So no kidding, I'm going to be emotional when the time in life finally comes that I feel ready, because I knew at 19, 20 years old when I was picturing these one-to-one retreats, these experiences of deep healing and transformation I would spend with people, and we would have heartfelt conversation. I would help massage and help run baths for you and keep you nourished and well, and hold your life with you for a week, 2 weeks, whatever the person ends up deciding. Only a few days if that's all that you're able to do. That dream has been on my heart since I was 19, 20 years old, and living absolutely out of alignment with that goal. Like I was having panic attacks every day. I was scared of what my life was going to be. I was answering to what I thought people wanted me to do. I was in film school, and I was devastated because I felt like everything I'd worked since I was 12 years old for was going down the toilet, because I realized this lifestyle wasn't for me. To work in film wasn't for me at the time. Actually, still really to work in the film industry specifically. I would love to get back into media, and I will share more about those intentions as well over the next decade. But I think what I'm trying to say is I feel like now I'm embracing that a dream life is establishing here, and I'm able to get that much closer to the things that I've really sought and been yearning for many years. And it requires me to be even more discerning, more strict on how I use my energy. The fact that that's a lot to keep in one's mind. I know that, right? I know no one's asking me to do this. I know these are my choices. It also really feels like it's getting demanded of me through my visions. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to go into victimhood about it. I also just want to say it's really challenging. I don't want my ability to continue creating and serving you all to depend entirely on everything around me feeling settled, because it never feels settled. It never does. And often I think I've been in a trap of waiting until I feel better in a certain context so that I can show or prove to any of you that certain things are kept together. And I've been ignoring the people in my life who tell me that they do think I have it together. And I've also been ignoring the people who tell me they want me to be out there more, because I deserve to be out here more and show what I have been working on. Right. And it, I think the idea of like separating more and more fully came to me because of a need to protect that mental energy, emotional space, my heart space. And even though that was a kind thing to do to protect myself, there's also the other edge of how we protect ourselves can then sometimes hold us back. And I see this all the time in hypnotherapy, so that people will have created some protective mechanism that is so supportive for the time that they needed it as a child, usually. And then as they get older, it starts to fight against them. This mechanism starts to become a limitation of some kind. So as I am busting open all of these limitations that stand between me and the dream, now this close, whereas before it felt so far. I used to say my dreams felt like a 10-ton truck. And my friends wouldn't believe me because they were just so jealous, because they wanted to know what they wanted to do in life. And a lot of people want to know what they want to do in life. And let me tell you, once you know, it adds a lot to your plate. I know, I shouldn't complain. I really don't feel as though I'm in an energy of complaint. I think I'm just wanting to be real. And this is what's on my mind right now. And so I would love if you could tell me where you're at, or if your mind is fighting against things I'm saying, I'd be happy to hear that as well. Anyway, I want to be here, being more real and being more raw, because the whole point of these remembering intensives and the whole point of my work in general and the whole point of healing is to feel like yourself again, is to feel like you're living the life that you want, at least for now. At least for now is really the only bargain that you need to have with yourself, because all we have is right now. So what's true for you right now? What feels right just right now, like regardless of anyone else's needs of you right now? Whew, what feels right? And this is not true of all men, and this is not true of all women in any way. I have noticed a big trend of many men that I do care about really struggling to know what it is they're looking for next in life, to know what it is that they desire or what they're about. Maybe part of their deeper purpose, their spiritual sense of being in the world, is being challenged or confronted. And I just want to let you know, if you're here and feeling quiet, I also know that men are more limited in access to healing, because a lot of them feel as though it's a feminized trade. For many years it has been, right? I mean, medicine isn't, but like medicine has been removed from the idea of like healing for many people for a long time, which is kind of silly. But um, anyways, all people who are here, I see you and I feel you. And that's what allows me to be here, is because knowing that this is going to land with someone somewhere. I'd like to encourage you to consider doing something really radically different in your life, even though it comes with clearly some moments of not feeling the greatest. I would rather that you have full feeling in your life than limit and feel numb. I would rather that you feel overwhelmed and then overcome that challenge than for you to never try and to be on your deathbed with regret. And I would rather you love fully, more fully than you ever have before, because that is what your heart is craving. And it is difficult to love people fully because we are so human. We are so flawed. We are so challenged. We are so traumatized. We are so many things. We are so beautiful. We are so giving. And we are so pure. And we are so innocent as humans as well. Okay. Yeah. And so, one of the things to protect in my life is actually a creative existence. And whew, the nerves I feel about going into my creative works and sharing more of myself vulnerably versus the like teacher, I'm here to help and help you heal. Anyways, for now, I do want to teach a little bit how to return to yourself. There's like many, 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 many ways. And I do really, really credit all of my shamanic teachers and my shamanic healing guides, and the shamanic path in general, for all those who've walked it and continue to walk it. Because that path has allowed me to be able to feel like I've come back to myself in many ways. And on a day-to-day level, returning to yourself might look like writing, journaling. People love that. For me, it's been walking. I need to walk and feel like I'm moving things. When I stay stagnant, I ruminate, and that's really not helpful. I'm an Aries. I actually ought to be like super fit with the amount that I have in my mind. I ought to be working out that much is what I mean. And I'm not. So like I clearly have like a buildup sometimes of many things in the head, in the mind. If you're an astrology person, you'll understand what I mean. Also just creating and making things, and singing. I've been praying more as well. I love that experience. And if you've never had a prayer that felt right, then I hope that that finds you one day if it's meant to. Because I know that people can have a really different relationship with what that feels like for them, and for me as well. A beautiful thing to understand more about how you feel about praying, though. I think sometimes we just need to sit in nature, um, or sit in a pool of sunlight like a cat does, you know. Sometimes we just need to come on and record a video or make a social media post. I needed to join you all again. That's what I was feeling in many ways, was that I wasn't serving you in a way that felt right from my own heart. So it's not like I felt anyone here was guilting me. It's like, wow, I really want to be here. You know, I need to be. It also, I think, sometimes looks like returning to yourself is asking questions that you're avoiding, and like being deeply truthful. And I think also returning to yourself is acceptance, like full acceptance, the best you can, of all the outside circumstance and situations and environments that you find yourself in, because we have chosen, whether deliberately or not, we have chosen our way here to this very moment where you're listening to this, wherever you are. Where are you right now? Let me know. I'm in Scotland. I'm in the Highlands. I am in a town with a bunch of hippies, and nearby a town with more hippies in the Highlands, if you know what I'm talking about. And I love it. It's a very cute little town. There's I'm in a like old house, which I like. I like houses with quirks. There's a 14-year-old beagle here, Ruby, who is very sweet, and she loves her walks. So it is like keeping me in a good way. So I'm not saying that you need to be like crazy productive. For me, productivity is part of knowing that I feel like myself again. And it's been not an easy time for sure. I think just to spend time with yourself in some way that you enjoy. And that is like spending less interrupted time. I think when we're on screens, or if you're like playing video games, or if you're like I think going to the gym is great. And I think doing things is great. And then I'm also like, you know, sometimes when I'm doing stuff, I still am not with myself. Right? It's like I'm with myself, one part of myself. So maybe my suggestion is that you find a way to spend some time with your heart. And maybe that is the gym, you know? For a lot of people it is. So it's no shade against the gym. I'm just jealous. So I don't have a gym membership right now, so I'm just jealous. All right. Where has your attention been lately? And what would it mean, or what would it take even, to bring some more of that back home? This is the part that I very rarely share, which is like consequences and sacrifices that I am making in order to live this way. Some of that even on my own friendships and connections and well-being and family and all those things, things that I really deeply care about, which feels insane sometimes. But the thing is, I know that this path is leading me towards greater love, and that standing up for what my heart feels is right is the path. It is the path. My innermost truth leads me in the best way every time. So as much as we can grapple with our attachments to what is outside of ourselves, and we want to build relationship and meaning with that which is outside of ourselves, it is from within that everything happens. So I love reconnection work, remembering work, self connection, and deepening your self-knowledge work. I'm offering a bunch of discounts this month because I love giving in August. I just feel it. I feel it. I always feel like a spike of offerings, like new offerings in the spring. And then every like August, like around Lionsgate and the Abundance Podium for Oracle Fest, seasonally, Lunasa, it's like harvest time. Let's share and let's grow with community, right? So I have my hypnotherapy sessions are $222 off, which I think makes it 40% off because it's 333 total. So, anyways, $333 for a 2-hour hypnotherapy session with me. That is life changing. I wouldn't say it if it weren't true, but that's what it is. It is a life changer. That's why I keep doing it. It seems like, oh, that seems like odd. She was doing all that spiritual work. Now she's doing hypnotherapy. To me, it's like me reuniting you with your inner child and your true self and helping you be totally unburdened. It helps me with like confidence and feeling like I can speak up, feeling like I can say what's on my mind. Reducing any type of panic of judgment or rejection. A lot of these fears are very normal. Like so many of the things I deal with in hypnotherapy, I've seen time and time and time again. And then I don't see it again because I've helped someone, they've helped themselves, and the process has helped them lift it off their back. And then private work with me, one-to-one work right now. The remembering intensives, you can get in touch with me if you'd like to discuss whether that feels right to you. I'm looking to take on a very select few for that. And for one-to-one work, it's 30% off this month. So if finances are one of the reasons that you feel held back sometimes by moving forward in your work with yourself, or you've been thinking about working with me and you're waiting for a cue, here is your cue. I would love to work with you. And yeah, I'm going to make some more videos. I'm feeling in the mode for it, but I'm going to get this one out now so that it's living and breathing out in the world while I do the rest. I also wrote on the end of this post that I shared out on social media that I lost the first half of, that I love you and that I mean it. And something that I've thought for a long time is an incongruency in my own life is that I really believe we ought to be hugging people more and saying that we love people more. I think our world needs more of it because so many people haven't received it and feel uncomfortable with it. And it's so easy to give, and it's so simple, and it brings sometimes confusion, but usually joy and love and connection into our world. So I love you. And I hope that you feel love today. You remember that you are love as well. I just love you guys a lot. And I want to keep bringing that energy forward. No urgency or pressure to return it. You don't have to tell me you love me back just yet if you're nervous. But I do. I love you, and I'm wishing you all the best in anything that you are facing in life. I think you're doing great.